On August 1st, news broke about a fatal crash at Greenbank Airport in Uxbridge, Ontario. The airport's owner, Micky Jovkovic, and a friend were killed in that plane crash. 5 days earlier, 100 Huntley Street had sat down with Micky and his wife Dorothy to talk about the ministry they loved, a summertime outreach called Church in the Hangar, a fellowship for people who love to fly. Here are some excerpts from Micky's last interview.
Greenbank Fly-In Church is composed of people that love aviation, and we do it in a hangar at an airport, and we try to just add some spiritual influence into the get-together, but it's really about relationships. I phoned Transport Canada, and I remember asking them, like, we're thinking of doing a fly-in church. Can we do that at the airport, at our airport? And he said, I guess you could. And I said, do I need any special permits? He said, no, not really. He said, just have your church, let us know how it goes.
Micky and Dorothy wanted to reach out to their community, but weren't sure how. So when a friend suggested they start a church for aviators, they were sold.
I just knew Micky, and Micky just loves people, and he loves to share, and he loves to share the gospel message. So I knew that this was another stepping stone where he'd be able to reach out to anybody who flew or drove on this property.
They remember that they had no idea what to expect that first Sunday.
It was pouring, and it poured the first Sunday.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh no. And actually, an aircraft flew in from Collingwood that Sunday. It was so exciting.
Unflyable.
Yeah, and he flew in, and he ended up being a speaker of ours for 2 summers.
We decided then, it was good, that we would do this rain or shine, which an interesting example was last Sunday when it was unflyable, it was pouring rain, and the place was packed out. And we thought, I thought, well, maybe we should just hope for rain from now on.
For 4 to 8 weeks every summer, Micky and Dorothy opened their home and their hearts to pilots and their families for breakfast and fellowship, sharing food and faith.
On the typical Sunday, an aviator is not going to church. On a nice weekend off, and it's nice weather, well, he's not going to church. He's going to fly. He's got a huge investment in that airplane, and he's going to want to go somewhere. And if you give him somewhere to go with a landing strip and some food and some nice times, fellowship with other pilots and other aviators, it would be the perfect place to go. And if you call it a church, he would even maybe invite his wife. We were thinking about that before we started the church, and it actually worked that way, where a man would bring his wife and children and mother and kids, and they'd all pile out of the plane. It was quite incredible.
The people that you're flying.
You almost couldn't tell it was a church. It was like being at a friend's house, but God was everywhere in the details.
I think whether you're flying one person or 200, really the responsibility or the weight of that doesn't change, and the fact that I'm on the airplane means I'm going to make sure it's a safe flight.
There were old faces, but God had brought some new ones this summer, and Micky and Dorothy were excited.
I think we're learning this is all about relationships. New friends, new people, people that wanted to renew their spiritual lives and didn't know how to do it and didn't feel like going to a church, felt too threatened. But you have to have a friendship and a relationship with people. You can't start Bible thumping. It's not the way it works. It's not where it's at. Nobody is interested in that. It's sometimes a long-term relationship, maybe a year, 2 or 3. And then you get close, and they want to know who you are and why you think a certain way.
The hangar church wasn't just for pilots. Kim Papizzo wasn't a flyer, but loved the mood at Greenbank.
At first I was kind of skeptical, because I kind of always thought church should be in church. But then I got more comfortable as I sat, and I saw the people that came and realized it was a great place just to meet new people and be who I was as a believer, and just to talk to them about my faith outside of a church.
Micky valued relationships and reached outside of the church because he cared.
I'm a preacher's kid, I'm a PK, and I saw in my family that my dad and mom I had not very many friends outside of church. That was not healthy. Great people, don't get me wrong. Wonderful Christians. They couldn't reach into the world. They just were stuck with their own people. And I thought maybe that's just maybe we can just go out into the world and bring people and introduce them to the Spirit of God in our lives.
You need to just sincerely love people and welcome them and be real and let God work in their lives and become personal with them.
During the rest of the year, the Jovkovics also worked in prison ministry and owned a travel agency, but always maintained the relationships they'd established.
It's an ongoing relationship with the people that are part of the hangar, and it's a winter. We have get-togethers, Christmas get-togethers, and we actually call it the hangar Christmas party. Yeah. So we want to keep track of, so what are you doing? Are you going to church? Have you found a church?
I just want to thank you for being here and making our lives so amazing, which they are. Can't have it yet.
This was the last hangar meeting for the summer, and unknowingly for Micky.
Our relationship is all about our hope in what lies ahead of us. And it's very exciting. But we experience Christ every day, too. It's not just our religion. When Dorothy and I sit down and share with each other, we're always saying, hey, did you see that? Isn't that incredible? That wasn't a coincidence. That was a God thing.
Whether the hangar church will continue has not been decided. Over 900 people attended Micky Jovkovic's funeral, a testament to the man he was. A man who reached out to people exactly where they were, even when it was in the sky. For 100 Huntley Street, I'm Bridget Antwi.